Welcome in, Pirates. It is your helmsman, Jay Billy, live from the Great Peninsula, broadcasting alongside the skipper. There he is. And here we are, August 17th, episode number 1, Skip. We had the pilot show, which you guys have seen so far. And here we are at episode 1, Monday. It's start of a new week. And as always, when you come onto our show and digest our content, you'll be getting not just stock equity ideas, but also ideas in general about how to look at graphs, how to read the markets, how to manage our emotions, how to manage our sizing, our risk taking, all those different things. And I wouldn't say that what we do is specific only to just the equity markets, but it is one thing where the skipper, Jay Billy, and he being the quant and me being Jay Billy, combine and become this great combo of a place where you can come every day, Monday through Friday, and get valuable ideas. All right, Skipper, over to you.
All right, thank you very much. Welcome to all our viewer. We're going to talk about some of the stock picks that we brought up last week. Let me first just find.
Bear with us, as you know, we are in the infancy of our media empire taking off, and it always has got to start somewhere. So that's why we just jumped right in. That's why we have our cool little whiteboard, right? Basics. There's a lot of ways in the paper markets to find alpha, and you don't always need a lot of fancy tools and fancy things. In our case,
give me 1 sec here. I'm trying to bring up our.
We have one fancy tool, and that's the scroll. And that's why you see the Daily Booty, our pirate show, is going to talk a little bit about how the show, how the research goes, and how you can find value in it. Remember, it's strategies. So like we'll be talking about Cisco and CXT. Those were the stocks we did Friday. These aren't stocks that you can just trip and stumble into and make money, okay? Everybody would love to do that. That's not how things work, not here in the pirate show and definitely not in real life. So we'll touch on both Cisco, which was a great idea that we had on Friday, and it absolutely created alpha today. We'll talk about CXT, that we don't think there's anything wrong with CXT still. We liked it Friday. We still like it today. And the skip is going to show us why. Are we ready over there?
I think so. I'm trying to figure out how to get through.
Yeah, we're just filling a little time here.
All right, so we're going to talk about a couple stocks here. First, we're going to talk about Cisco. So Cisco is a stock that we recommended on our pilot episode last week. And so why Cisco came to mind, it was brought to our attention from the scroll the other day. So this was 2 days ago, what trading wise would have been Thursday. So on Thursday, we were alerted by the scroll saying, hey, this looks promising.
Thursday morning.
Yeah, Thursday morning before the market opens.
Yeah.
We get this alert. So we're looking at it. And like I had mentioned, this was beautiful to me because not only did the scroll recommend entry, but this is also a post-earnings drop. So there's an earnings report on Thursday or prior to Thursday. So it caused, like they want to do, a big price decrease. So we were basically able to get it at a discount. What we recommended to our audience, or gotta be careful with the words recommend, but what we highlighted to our members was that this is a very promising stock. You can pay attention to this stock and you'll do well. And if you listen to us, then hopefully you were able to enjoy that success. Because if you can see over here on the right, on the Thinkorswim app, on this black band, the stock launched.
Is there any way we can zoom in on that scale? Take your time. We're in control. The beauty of the scroll and the Secret Scroll Media Company that the skipper and I have created is we don't have to listen to anyone. He and I just kind of mix the turntables, so to speak, right? He and I are like a band, and we do whatever we want. So bear with us. We want to see, wherever we got to go, I'll fill the time. One thing I mentioned, if you follow me on X, and if you don't, check me out. Jay Billy is live and in living color on X every day. And something I spoke about this morning on my golf cart ride around the club was value. identifying value, and I talked about a few different things, but the value component to my post and the value tip in my post was work on dealing with things that you might come across in life that you want to take a chance on, you want to take a gamble on, you want to take a risk on, and you want to buy. Say you want to buy a car, a house, all these things. It is important that you are mindful enough to find the value as to what that price is. A lot of times people argue about price. You'll hear a lot of people talk in life about they'll look at something or see someone that has something that they don't have, and they'll make a judgment. They paid too much, or it's not worth that. Remember, it might not be worth that to you, but it might be worth that to Jay Billy, and Jay Billy buys it. Or we all see value in different ways. And what I said on my golf cart post was make sure that you're measuring the value of things more from a percentage increase and less of an actual like unit increase. And the reason that's important is because in life, especially in the paper market, stock trading and stock gambling, someone might make more jewels and gems off a trade than you. Okay. It's usually because they risked more jewels and gems than you did. So keep that in mind. A 1% gain for the skipper and Jay Billy is a 1% gain for any of our members. The skipper and Jay Billy might have put in a little bit more jewels and gems on the trade. Therefore, our 1% is going to be larger in size as far as money and stuff goes. But we both got 1%. And one big thing, the skipper talks about this in our content, is we're looking for price expansion. We're looking for certain levels of price expansion. However, we make sure to keep an eye on things and not get greedy. That's it. Skipper, back to Skipper. We got the graph up.
That was great content filler. Thank you. While we figure out the technical details here. So
thank you, Skipper. I'm a pro.
Yeah, you are. So we're on Thinkorswim. Despite some of the technical difficulties, it is my weapon of choice. I'll remind our viewer, this is not an official partnership with Charles Schwab or anything like that yet.
Oh, yes.
But
Charles, call us.
Yep, I do like Thinkorswim for a lot of reasons. And one is just the information and the access that you get. So speaking of information, like I was talking about, so back before the market opened on the 13th, the scroll alerted us to its liking of Cisco. It's like, hey, this looks like a good one. And in addition, I'm able to see that earnings just happened. So earnings are the reason you see this big red candle right after market close the day before. That tends to happen after earnings, and then the price continued to drop. Well, you can see with these green bubbles here, this is where I started adding in pre-market and at market open. Like, hey.
So it was a pre-market earnings call.
Yeah.
So
yep.
Pre-market hits, stock reacts, and the scroll's already telling us that this is a candidate for expansion.
It's like something good's going to happen.
And ironically, something doesn't right off the bat, but that's where our discipline comes in.
And that's exactly right. So nothing too meaningful happened on the day, but we entered in position because we were confident because of what the scroll had told us and the fact that this was coming off earnings, like something nice is going to happen. And if you listen to us,
and we don't think the scroll doesn't really care about the earnings part.
So no, not at all.
That's a major metric and variable that us pirates in our club, we don't care about that. We don't care about noise. We don't care about static and propaganda. None of that, man. The scroll and the pirates are strictly looking at price action, and looking at the charts.
That's right.
So
think of it as like the data speaking for itself.
The scroll says, oh, Cisco is going to have some expansion in this, what I call, or you heard me talk about on X, the forecast, right? The research is our coordinates. So the coordinates come in, Cisco's a place to go looking for treasure. We go to look at it and we see it had an earnings call. And that's when we immediately pause, because the skipper and I know, and you should know if you don't, lots of things happen. A lot of commotion happens around earnings, and that commotion that happens is not necessarily valuable to be measured by anything.
No, it just set us up for a great opportunity. and we've taken advantage of 2 of them already. And the reason we're going to talk about Cisco is we believe there's more to come. So
This is your opportunity.
On Thursday, we entered nice and low. You can see this bubble off the screen. You can see where we entered, nice and low, and then held it through Friday. Nice expansion to start the day today. So I was able, since I was already in position, I was able to take full advantage of this expansion for this lot. Then, because Cisco is still very much alive, this is a stock that we still expect to expand, thanks to what the scroll had told us, and because of the fact that it's going to recover from, frankly, a very nice earnings report, beating expectations. I entered again on this expansion, or prior to this expansion down here. You can see this little green candle, and it was able to gain me a few bucks. So, just at the very end of the day, thanks to my confidence in Cisco's performance, I was able to get my second win. So this turned into a nice win, or as Jay Billy calls it, set of jewels and gems, and we expect more. So we're still holding some position. We're expecting Cisco to continue to expand. So keep that on your radar.
And I want to clarify something. I see when Jay Billy was talking earlier about the earnings call. It would have been the afternoon after market close. I said pre-market. Sorry. We came upon it pre-market in our coordinates, and that's where you can see these green bubbles and buys. These were pre-market buys because it was in our research.
That's right.
It didn't do what we wanted the first day, but we still didn't abandon it ship. I mean, we actually added there.
Yeah.
And that's a crucial part of the strategy, and that's a crucial element if you're a new member to our armada here, to the fleet. You can't just go right out and buy these and expect these expansions we're looking for, right? They take shape. They sort of breathe, so to speak. That happens sometimes. Some of them, absolutely. Market opens, right, Skipper, and they rip. We have some of that. We have ones that market opens and they sort of peter down a little and then they start moving higher. We have other ones that market opens, they go down, and sometimes they can go down 1%, 2 or 3 or 4. And that's why you want to make sure that you tune into us on every show and you follow my content and our content. Skipper is certainly part of my content on X, on what the strategies are, what the ideas are, and also how to read graphs and how to read charts. That's not just for our research. The Skipper and I get ideas from other people, right, Skip?
Yeah.
I mean, we're out. We go behind other people's paywalls. We subscribe to other people's ideas because we are pirates, leisure pirates that are only focused on digging up buried treasure. So therefore, if there's another pirate out in life that we come across, we absolutely join their fleet and their membership club and say, give us some ideas. That's all Skipper and I are doing. We're giving ideas.
Yeah. And you brought up an important point of not panicking and reacting appropriately under the umbrella of confidence that this stock is going to perform for you. So this is a great example just right in front of us. So thanks to the research we received prior to market open, coupled with the fact that this was coming off of earnings decline, we bought in pre-market. And then when it opened, it continued to drop. As you can see, the red candles, the trending down. But instead of panicking, we bought in some more. We are confident that this is going to rise. And it's these stocks that we bought at low prices that we're expecting to gain off. And we've already gained off of 2 of our
couple lots.
Yeah.
But we do have lots that are out there and are down. So let's be very clear about that.
But it hasn't lost yet. We're expecting this to go our direction because of the research.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Because of the coordinates, because of the research, because of the scroll. I say on X, we are more Jimmy Buffett, Jack Sparrow pirates, not Captain Hook Somalian. So for that reason, Jack Sparrow would never panic.
That's right.
And we don't panic. We listen to the wind. That's what we do.
All right. So we talked about something that won for us. Let's talk about something that, as I like to put it, it hasn't won yet.
Correct.
So CXT, we entered CXT thanks to the research back on the 13th. So did a
morning of the 13th.
On the very morning, expecting a rip.
CXT comes into us with coordinates towards buried treasure.
Yep. And you can see now, hindsight being 2020, had I found a way to enter closer to market open, there was a rip. You can see the wick on the opening candle that I could have taken advantage of, but I entered later, so this started to drop. But same sort of thing. I'm trusting the research. I'm trusting the tailwinds that come with the scrolls coordinates. So upon reversal on the same day that I entered, when I see this reversal, you see a nice shape starting to form of wanting to reverse.
The reverse J.
By the way, we're on hour charts. I spent a lot of time on the hourly charts. When we see, like Jay Billy said, the reverse J starts to
We
form.
call it the reverse J, Bill.
We see the strength starting to show itself. I entered, and then by the end of the day, I was able to get a really nice gain at the top of this wick. So even though I'm still holding on to this position, I already won some money on a lot. So here we are, pretty lateral on Friday, not too much movement, not enough anyway for me to. Well, I'm not going to accept the loss. I'm still confident in this one because the research says, hey, this one's going to perform for you. Here we are today. As you can see, pretty downhill. I even entered
It's horrible price action. Let's be honest, Skipper.
but we're not panicking because we saw a low here starting to show signs of reversal at the end of the day. Heck, even after market close, tiny little green candle. So this looks like it wants to start turning in our direction. So we have no reason to panic. So CXT, if you're not in, this is still something it's live. Think of this as a bomb that hasn't gone off yet. So keep this on your radar. Pay attention to price action between today and tomorrow. And this is something that could still turn around and go your way. In fact, we're expecting.
Right. And if you are savvy already with the charts, then you know the wonderful thing about our research is you can apply what we talk about here to any chart. The beauty of the ideas that we give you are these are points that we have already a major signal that says this is an area that maybe is worth your focus.
That's right.
And that's really all it is. So when we see days like today, our instinct is, just like any trader, is to manage the position. He buys he DCAs on the first day, is smart and not greedy, and decides to take a nice gain on that. Then you can see in this graph, we wait the whole day. We don't do any buying or selling. We just watch for things. And that is crucial, guys. So many times it has happened to Jay Billy when he was a young lad trader. He isn't anymore. I have gray in my beard. When I was a young lad, I have a tendency to think that as soon as I buy a position, it's going to go up for me. And if it doesn't, I start panicking and maybe I sell it when I shouldn't, or I worry about it way too much. You got to pump the brakes on that sort of energy because that's not how this whole game works.
That's right. Especially with the valuable information that we're providing you thanks to the scroll.
Certainly with ours, yeah, but that doesn't work in anybody's information.
There's confidence, but you brought up an important point of generalized strategies. We will be offering content to our subscribers on general strategies that are kind of agnostic to what the stock is, but it's like, hey, if you start seeing this sort of pattern, this is a nice sign. Things to that effect. So we talked about the reverse J. Talking about what we're seeing here is some seller exhaustion, buyers starting to take some control, some signs of strength to end the day, which is nice. We're not saying enter pre-market necessarily, but we're saying, hey, keep this on your radar. This thing looks like it wants to expand, combined with the fact that our research has said as much.
So that's wonderful, Skipper, because Skipper and I, through our strategies of managing our portfolio, which all of you should manage your portfolio, and you're responsible for managing your portfolio. We manage our portfolio. It comes across our radar. We would think, in some situations, we might have bought a little more CXT during the end of the day because we did like that price action, even though it was a bad price action. We saw the selling sort of fizzle out, as a term used a lot. That fizzling out kind of makes us think, oh, maybe we'll DCA a little bit. We decided we didn't want to do that. We have capital allocated in other positions, and that's the kind of part of portfolio management that's totally up to you as your own buyer.
That's right. We can give general recommendations, but
we're never going to tell you to buy now.
That's right. We're giving you the information. We want you to make smart choices.
Yep.
So this last one, this is a fun one, and this is one that's started to gain us some nice gains back. So MCHP actually has popped twice, and we're going to talk about it in this chart.
We are down quite a bit.
So the first time it popped, it was like number one, confident.
Beginning of the day.
Yep, beginning of the day. On That would have been on the 10th. So a week ago.
August 10th is when we first saw the coordinates for MCHP.
Yeah.
Prior to August 10th, we weren't looking at MCHP.
That's right. But we'll talk a little bit about some chart studies. So scroll pops MCHP. So now it's on our radar. We're looking at it. So I take a look at the day's prior performance. It looks nice, strong, maybe a little expanded, but then it's off market hour candles I really do like. Now, once again, that damn hindsight. Had I paid more attention to this 9 o'clock candle starting to drop, I would never have entered this position. I would have waited, but here we are. So entered the position on this red candle, and it dropped. I DCA'd a bit, but one good thing is I picked a low DCA down here that we are really close to meeting again, thanks to today's expansion.
We did, though. This is what and Skip and I always look at each one of our trades and kind of bounce things back and forth. We did identify that through our human experiences, we got caught a little bit what would be called catching the fallen knife. Show them those. Right, we got a little in, and our instinct was we thought we saw strength, so we buy some more. But in reality, when you do look at that on that first day that this came on our research, it would have been much more prudent to at least that middle lot. Not the first one and not the lowest, but that middle lot that we bought on that one candle, we could have probably held off on that.
Right. And but it ends up being what we did. So we see the reverse J form, strength starts to happen at this candle. And that's the 1 o'clock candle. I enter that position, and by the end of the day, I'm able to make more than a 1% gain on that lot. So it already started earning me money while I'm still holding on to these
loser lots. We're not gonna reel in just like a good fisherman. We're not going to reel in the line until there's something on the hook.
Yeah, right now there's no reason for us to realize these losses. So we're hanging on to these positions, and it's very good that we did, because just this morning, MCHP popped at the top of our list again. So this kind of refreshes, it reinvigorates MCHP. We're expecting it to turn around. We already were, but now it's like even more evidence thanks to the scroll saying, hey, this thing's going to pop again. And it sure did. And you can see with my entry and exit points.
And it had been on the 5th day. So
yeah. Yep. So now this is kind of like hitting reset. Now it's back to just finished day 0 because we got this information and we entered low, sold high, entered low, sold high. So now we're already starting to make money back, still expecting MCHP to continue its reversal, to continue its expansion. So pay attention. We're not saying enter right away, but have a look. Keep this on your radar because we expect MCHP to expand beyond what it already has.
Because it is a new research coordinate. It's basically been a research coordinate since August 10th, and then it goes out of what we consider to be a 4-day stretch, day 0 being entry day, then day 1, day 2, day 3. At the end of day 3, we like to audit. We like to audit what we're doing in certain positions. The skipper and I looked at it, and we were down, as you can see. We had made a little bit of some lot profits on the first day, but for the most part, the position was down. We came together and said, no, let's see what happens. And sure enough, the next day that we stayed in, it still dropped. We kept holding on, and then lo and behold, it came back up on the coordinates for what Skipper just said. 0 day again, technically, on any new lots. So any of these new lots we bought today, we consider them seasoning and cooking, so to speak, over that next 4-day window. But we also think that this expansion that's new coming out of the research will be very beneficial to these lots that we held here, and maybe we follow this thing all the way up to new highs.
Yeah. So to sum things up, we were able to experience 2 really nice sets of gains through Cisco and MCHP, and we're expecting more. And CSTX should be on your radar. So
we own MCHP, we own CXT, and we own Cisco. So we're not trying to pump you into them or anything like that. We're being totally transparent.
Yeah,
this is stuff we're doing, and this is why we did it.
That's right. So that's it. We covered all our grounds for what we talked about on Friday's show on our pilot, and you have some coordinates to consider for the market tomorrow. So I hope that this was informative. I'm going to stop sharing, and we'll let Jay Billy take us out.
All right. Well, first and foremost, we appreciate always everyone's attention to the matter. We're we're signaling out into the stratosphere, and I do believe that the powers that have been combined between the skipper and Jay Billy are a legitimate, viable force to be reckoned with in the paper markets, and one to take note of, simply because we already have the receipts. We've been doing this for many months at this point, and that's why we're so rudimentary going out and just doing the basics, because it doesn't take a lot to do the basics in the paper markets to allow yourself to get in and out, find alpha, stack, have some more jewels and gems. Okay. He talked about Thinkorswim earlier. Charles Schwab, you're more than welcome to sponsor us, even though we're really not trying to take sponsors. We're more wanting you to subscribe, tell your friends, come hang out with us on Substack, come hang out with us someday, probably in our trading resort clubhouse, as we like to think of it.
It's coming.
It's coming. So the layers are being added. He mentioned Thinkorswim, though. You don't have to use Thinkorswim. Skipper, does Jay Billy use Thinkorswim?
No.
No. And is Jay Billy successful with the research?
Jay Billy uses like an abacus.
I do.
Or no, we're
sailors.
sailors.
Where's my calculator?
We're pirates. He uses a sextant.
As a matter of fact, it's kind of funny. I use a small, very elementary Texas Instrument calculator. And lo and behold, our pre-market research had Texas Instruments on it.
It did.
TXN.
It did.
And we're not going to talk about that because we don't own it anymore.
No, we won't talk about
we bought it and sold it.
How much ass it kicked. We won't talk about
it.
That.
It was pre-market, and pre-market is for Jay Billy and the skipper. But I use a little Texas Instrument, tiny little calculator, and I trade directly through Schwab's website. Always have, and pretty much feel like I always will, because I'm doing all right. The other thing I look at, I don't look at Thinkorswim graphs. I look directly at the propaganda machines graphs, CNBC. I've been doing it for about 7 years. So a lot of things we do as humans, we just do it out of familiarity. And I've always been familiar with that. So when I met the skipper and he came into my universe, I already had these tools. And I thought, can I apply and use these tools to find the treasure? And the skipper said, absolutely. You don't need any special tools other than the scroll. But you're only going to find buried treasure with the scroll. Or getting behind other people's paywalls like Skipper and I do. We do find alpha behind the other people we subscribe on or subscribe to. So there's alpha to be had out there. If you're following somebody right now, if you're paying them any shekels or jewels and gems to get their ideas, and they're not having number go up, like there's not more money in your account today as there was yesterday, consider us. That's about all I have to say.
All right. Yeah.
The Daily Booty is what our show is going to be. It's a pirate show, The Scroll, and Monday through Friday. Keep checking in. Shout out to one of our subscribers, Andrew. Andrew, we appreciate you believing in us because we believe in you, and we believe that teaming up in this life with people from different walks of life, different layers of humanity, and certainly people who have different skill sets need to team up and try to rule the universe. Okay. Well,
all right.
Signing out. Say goodbye, Skipper.
Fair winds and following seas.
That's what he says, and Jay Billy says, see you out.